Hey there, welcome or welcome back. My name is Emily and today we're going to be doing a little art haul, a testing out of some new supplies, and also a little Q&A, which will be later on in the video. I hope you enjoy. I took a trip to my local art store and I had so much fun walking around and looking at everything. I am the kind of person in an art store where I will crouch down and look at every little weird item that I can possibly find. And yeah, so I did pick up a few things. This was a week or so before Christmas, which my family does celebrate. So I also received a few art supply related Christmas gifts. So I filmed a little haul of those as well. So you're gonna see me start with the stuff I got at the art store, and then you'll see what I got for Christmas. Super grateful for the gifts I received. One of the first things I picked up at the art store is kind of weird, but it was on clearance, just a bamboo panel, and I guess it's for people to paint on, but it was such a good price and I thought it would be perfect for if I'm painting on paper or raw canvas or anything like that. I can tape it down to the board, and it's also great because if I'm filming, it offers kind of a nice backdrop, and it's heavy enough that it won't slide around while I'm working, which is always a bonus. I did pick up some Holbein oil colors. I have never tried their oil paints, but their color range was just so gorgeous. I spent way too long looking at them all. I just had to give them a try, so I'll definitely be trying those in a future video. I also picked up some watercolor ground, so I can try and work with watercolors in my sketchbook. Not sure how that's gonna go, but we'll see. I picked up a couple watercolor pans. I can't leave the art store without picking up a couple colored pencils and also some brushes. So yeah, that's the haul from the art store. I got some brush cleaner as well, and also a whole bunch of canvas boards. So I also wanted to show you the things I received for Christmas that were art related. To start off with, my partner got me this really cool organizer for storing art supplies, and I just love it so much. I love organizational pieces, I guess, and I'm so excited to fill it up with supplies. I'm not quite sure what yet, maybe oil pastels, but who knows, we'll see. Next, I received this Faber-Castell marker set. They are brush pens, I believe, and they are filled with India ink. I also got some Faber-Castell watercolor markers, which I don't think I really knew were a thing. And yeah, I never really thought about it, but it sounds pretty cool to me, so I'm hoping to try those out as well. I received this lovely mixed media sketchbook, which I am excited to work in as well. So my partner is also an artist, and he stretched this canvas for me and he primed it in the most amazing way. He does wet sanding and it's so smooth. It's like as smooth as a panel, but it's canvas, and it honestly just blows my mind. I'm really excited to paint on it, but also nervous to mess it up because it's such a beautifully made canvas. I also got a box of Blackwing pencils, which they have to be my favorite sketching pencils out there, and I only had little nubs left, so the timing couldn't be more perfect. I'm so excited to use these in my sketchbook. And speaking of sketchbooks, I also got this new Talons art creation sketchbook. Oh my gosh, just so excited. I was eyeing these bad boys up at the art store, and lo and behold, I got one of these little guys, so I'm really excited to use this next. I also received some Yupo paper, which I got this pad of heavy Yupo and also the translucent Yupo, which I think is going to be so fun to paint on with oils. So definitely look out for another Yupo video in the future. So here's some footage of me opening up, or unboxing I guess you could say, these Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pens or markers. And I was really impressed with the packaging inside, or the box that the markers come in. It just feels so sturdy and just really nice. Also, the color selection, so many colors. So it had this really cool mechanism where you pull up this string and wrap it around this sort of little latch, I guess. I don't know. And it holds the markers up so you can see them super clearly which colors you want to pick. Super cool, and I totally didn't expect it. So I wanted to play around with these in my sketchbook. I knew right away that they were going to behave very differently from alcohol markers. I was pretty sure they wouldn't blend as easily as those guys do, but I was super impressed with the pigmentation of these and also the fact that they don't really bleed through to the other side. The only time I experienced that was where I layered way too much marker on top of each other, and that was just my bad. I started by swatching a few colors that really caught my eye. You'll see that I end up using that lilac and light indigo quite a lot, but especially that lilac. I love pale purple colors in paints in basically every medium, so I made a beeline for that marker. So you're gonna see me just do some playful sketches here. I start off with Col-Erase and then I dive into the markers, and I finish them off with some colored pencils. Because I've never used these before, I wasn't quite sure how they would go down, how they would interact with each other. What I discovered is that you really don't want to layer them too much. You don't really want to try and mix colors too much. And they aren't the best for coloring large areas. But what I did discover and what I really liked is that they are beautiful for sketching and getting beautiful line variation. The pigmentation is awesome. They're bold, they're bright, and they don't go through to the other side of the page. So I think going forward, I will treat them sort of as sketch tools and less as coloring tools. But I had so much fun using them, so enjoy this footage of me playing and sketching and yeah, testing these guys out. In my last video, I asked you guys to send me some questions. I also asked on Instagram and I received quite a few, so I'm going to do my best to answer them. This was sort of a little celebration of hitting 1,000 subscribers. So yes, thank you so much to everybody that has been watching my videos, who has subscribed. Yeah, you're all so awesome. Thank you. Okay, so the first question is from Lul. I hope I'm saying everybody's names right, on YouTube, and they say, what is, in your opinion, the best way to progress faster in painting? I mean the way of applying paint, not the drawing skills. How to understand values in color, as in transferring grayscale values to colors. And they said, I hope you're understanding me, and I think I understand you perfectly because these are questions I've definitely asked myself. Not asked myself, but asked myself. I hope you understand me now. I would say, and this is like the annoying answer, is to paint. The best way to improve your skills of applying paint is to paint. But annoying answer aside, I would say doing master copies would probably be the best way to improve these skills. So find an artist that you greatly admire And it doesn't have to be an old master, it can be a contemporary master, somebody that paints today, and when you look at them, you think, wow, now that is how I want to paint, and you know, that is my goal. And obviously in the end, you're not going to be an exact copy of them as an artist because that's impossible, but you will learn the skills to improve your painting, and you will find your own style along the way. But yes, definitely do master copies and study the painting thoroughly, study the direction of the brushstrokes. I think that is one of the biggest things that changed my painting skills, was understanding that the direction you place your strokes is so important. Also, you can do value studies of said paintings. So you can take a photo of the painting, say it's a John Singer Sargent painting or a Zorn painting or a Sorolla, whoever you admire, take the painting and edit it in Photoshop or whatever app you have into black and white. Then try and do a value study of it and try and limit it to maybe 5 values from white to black. Once you do that study, also focusing on, you know, brush strokes and direction, maybe less detailed, using larger brushes, but still focusing on direction, then you can do the same painting in color. I should do as I say because I haven't done a master copy in ages, and I think it is one of the best ways to improve. It's not something to be ashamed of. I think almost every artist has done a copy at one point or another. Probably the best way to learn. So I hope that helps, and I'm sending you all the best in your painting journey. Okay, the next question is from Art by Choffs on YouTube, and they said, where are you from? And that is a much more simple question to answer. I like having a variety here. I'm from Canada. I was born in Ottawa, and I now live in the Greater Toronto area. I went to university in Toronto at OCAD University. So yeah, that's where I'm from. The next question is from Gemma Sampson Art on YouTube, and they say, what is your earliest memory of creating some kind of art? What was it? And I can't exactly say what my earliest memory was, but I know I was always coloring, or I was always drawing, usually with markers on, you know, printer paper. One of my favorite things to do as a kid was to make, I guess, art books, kind of like zines. Oh, am I ahead of my time? I don't know, but I would take like printer paper and I would do drawings in marker or colored pencil or whatever, crayon even, and I would bind them with Scotch tape and make these books. There was one that I did from like the age of 4 all the way till 9, and I just kept adding to it. Yeah, maybe I can find it and show it on here someday. It's a complete mess. They're kids' drawings. They're not anything special, but that would probably be my earliest memory, I would say, of creating art when I was young. Yeah, I think I just never stopped. Okay, next question is from Adar or Adar Frida. I hope I'm saying your name right. And they ask, what made you decide to start your YouTube journey? Were there any hurdles you had to overcome? I started filming my art process super casually in maybe first year of university, I think. And I didn't do it very often. It was like whenever I remembered it or whenever I thought of doing it, I thought it could be fun. I also liked the idea of getting into video editing. Yeah, I kind of combined the two things I wanted to do. And it wasn't until this year that I thought, maybe I should, try and make videos with more effort. And I think it's because, there are a lot of art YouTubers, but I felt like maybe there was a gap where I could maybe fit in. So I was like, hey, if there's a little gap, I'm gonna hop in there and I'm gonna try and make videos. I wasn't sure if anybody would watch them, but yeah, I'm still going at it, so we'll see. And were there any hurdles you had to overcome? I guess just the setting aside time to make videos. It definitely takes a lot of time. I didn't realize that putting together proper videos more than what I did before, which was just, recording and then turning up the speed from, real time to whatever super fast and putting music over it. That was what I first did. I didn't realize it would take so much time, and doing voiceovers takes so much time. So I think that was probably the main hurdle, was setting aside the time for creating videos. Okay, next question. This one is from Instagram, and this is from Lil Nukes. They asked, what music do you listen to when you want to feel inspired? And I listen to a lot of jazz music. I don't know if that's a very exciting answer, but in the past year or so, I've listened to a lot of jazz music while I'm painting. Coltrane, Miles Davis, all that good stuff. The next question is from YouTube, and it's from Ishika Kana. I hope I'm saying your name right. They said, I want to study portraits. Do you have any recommendations for me? I usually paint landscape. Love your work. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you want to study portraits, I think you should, I don't know what mediums you're looking to work in, but whatever medium it is, I think you should limit your palette to start. I think the best thing to do would be to maybe go for a primary palette. So just having a red, a blue, a yellow, titanium white, raw umber, and maybe black, ivory black. I think you're set with that. For me, I would usually have a warm red and a cool red, so like a cadmium red for a warm red and like an alizarin crimson for a cooler red. And I just think that that is a good palette to try and study skin tones and mixing skin tones. But besides that, I would also recommend doing some black and white only value studies of portraits. Yeah, portraits are difficult, and I think the best thing is not to beat yourself up if it doesn't go exactly how you want to right away. I also think a great idea, and this is something I did a lot in art school, was doing quick portrait sketches. And you can do this, there's a website called lineofaction.com, and if you go there, you can like set up sort of a session, and you go to faces, and you can choose whether it's men or women, and then how long you want each face to be there for. Yeah, so you could do 5 minutes. So what it's going to do is flip through different reference photos of faces that you are totally free to use, and you'll just have 5 minutes for each one, and you just grab your pencil, your sketchbook, and you sketch, and you do your best. Try and focus on the major shapes in the face. Yeah, another thing you can do is study the anatomy of the head. So you can do some skull practice, drawing skulls, also the muscles on the face. I think these are, all good ideas to try and practice to get started in the world of portraits. And again, what I said earlier is you can do some master copies of portraits that you really like, and that will help you learn as well. So I hope that helps. But yes, do not get discouraged. You got this. Okay, next questions. I have a few here from Ultramarine on YouTube. So first question from them, I'm just going to group them all together so they don't have to jump around the video finding their questions. So they asked, what is your favorite art book at the moment? I would say my Sargent book called Painting Friends. And it's a book I got at the National Portrait Gallery in London when I was lucky enough to get to visit there. It is just a book of a lot of the paintings that Sargent did of his friends and contemporaries. There's also a few self-portraits in here. I love Sargent's work, so I can just stare at these pages for ages. And that's a rhyme for you. Next question, how do you get your oil painting to dry in sketchbook? I use a quick drying medium, so you can use Galkyd or any like Alkyd based medium with your paints. Also, I didn't do this before, but in this video you maybe saw I got a tube of Gamblin's quick drying white, and I'm going to be using that a lot for painting in my sketchbook because white always takes so long to dry. And also I just leave my sketchbook open. I just leave it open and let it dry. And as soon as it's, touch dry, I am basically good to go. But I don't really ever close that book unless, I don't know, I don't really close that book. I just flip to the next page I'm going to work on. And the next question is, what was your most and least favorite subject/activity in art school? So my most favorite subjects or classes, I would say, would be life drawing. I just felt every time we had a model in our class that we could draw or paint from. I specifically had a painting the figure class that I just loved, and I learned so much, and it's such a great opportunity to be able to paint from a live nude model. So loved that. Just any of my studios where I could be working alongside a bunch of friends and other artists was always a great time. Oh, I also loved the art history lectures. I tried to take as many art history courses as possible. Love it. And my least favorite was, there was a class I had to take that was more like conceptual installation type work. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. I am glad I got the chance to take it and see, other people's work, but I definitely didn't make the best work in that class. Yeah, wasn't one I looked forward to a lot, but still kind of glad I took it, Another question from Ultramarine is, they wonder if I paint with oils indoors and how do I manage the ventilation. Thank you for all your videos. I love binge watching them. Thank you so much, Ultramarine. I love that you love watching them. So I do paint indoors. I try and use solvent-free fluid. Gamblin has a really good one, and I've recently started using the Gamblin solvent-free gel, which I think is even better because I find that it doesn't really go into the air as much, and it really doesn't have an odor at all, or a very faint one, so that's good. But I do use odorless mineral spirits to clean my brushes, and that is quite toxic, and it doesn't feel good to breathe it in. So I try and have some open windows, and I have this tin. I try and not keep the lid open when I'm not using it. Oh, I do also use it when I'm doing my washy block-in stage in the painting. I like to really thin down the paint to sketch in. So that, and then cleaning my brushes at the end is really the only time I use that, and that's the only time that I have the tin open. And every other time I close it, and that keeps the fumes out of the air, and it keeps also the product from evaporating, which is good because it can be costly. So I hope that helps. When I was in art school, I painted in a small apartment room, and it was my bedroom. And so my bed was right next to my easel and my desk. Yeah, the fumes could be very difficult. I don't recommend that at all, but you do what you gotta do. So yeah, open windows always. And yeah, there's a few things like that you can do to minimize your exposure to those nasty fumes. Oh, also wear gloves. I don't always do it, but I try to when I remember. It's a good thing to do, wear gloves. Okay, so I have some questions here from Kizzy on YouTube, and they ask, is creating art your full-time job? And no, it's not. I was gonna say I don't make money from it at the moment, but I do occasionally sell a painting here or there or do commission work. But besides that, I don't really make money. I don't make money from my videos yet. So no, it's not my full-time job. I have some other forms of income, but yeah, I would love to make this my full-time job if I could, if that was a possibility. So here's hoping for that. Do you manage to create art every day? Not every day, but I would say most days I do at least sketch in my sketchbook, and that's more of a recent thing. It depends. I've definitely gone through periods of art block where I find it very hard to produce art for a while, but right now I've been kind of in the groove of sketching pretty much every day, And when I get the chance, I paint maybe once a week some weeks, and other weeks I can get away with painting for 4 or 5 days that week. It really depends. What is your biggest inspiration for creating art? I would say other artists online on Instagram inspire me a lot. I get inspired a lot by film, movies, TV shows, especially the lighting and colors in film. And I'm also inspired by the old masters. So that was not one answer, but a bunch. But that's the best I can do. Oh, also I get inspired by reading because I read a lot of novels. And yeah, sometimes that really inspires me. What brand of oil paint do you prefer the most? Right now, I would say Gamblin is my favorite. I have a few paints from Williamsburg and they are so gorgeous. I love them. They're a little more pricey, but those are fantastic paints as well. But the majority of my paints are Gamblin because they seem to be really reliable and just really nice to work with. Okay, the next question is from Instagram. It's from Avery, and they ask, what/who has influenced or changed your style the most throughout your work? Yeah, I think definitely looking at other artists that inspire me. I recently took a class by Greg Manches. I got to watch all of his lectures and I got to watch his painting process. And yeah, he really influenced, I think, how I paint and how I even draw. He just has a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. His oil paintings are incredible. So I would say for right now, that has probably influenced me the most. Also, I've always leaned towards being an alla prima painter, so painting all in one sitting. This isn't always possible for me, but when it is, that is my preferred method of painting. I really like how paintings look when they're done that way. So that has influenced the style in which I paint in. Yeah, I hope that's a good answer. Thank you for asking it. Okay, I think those are all the questions. I really hope I didn't miss any, but I really enjoyed answering them. So thank you to everybody who asked questions. Thank you to anybody who is still watching. You're the best. If you like art videos and you're not already subscribed, you can subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I post a video, you can click the little bell icon, which is near the subscribe button. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing new year. Sending you guys all my love. See you next time, which hopefully will be very, very soon.